Hi guys, quick update here for YouTube. It's now Friday and I believe it's the 28th of February. Hope everyone's doing great. If you want to join the group, everything's here, educational courses, and it's cheaper if you pay over 3 months. If you pay via crypto, just let us know. Now, Bitcoin. Now, as you know, we went bearish, cautious around December. We then had two ideas. We had a short-term interpretation, both up and down. Then we said eventually we were going to have a large correction. The medium to long-term count has not changed on this market. If you want to know where this market is going long-term, I can sense a lot of fear, a lot of panic amongst the investors here. Some people actually calling for 2,000, calling for 10,000. I recall asking the YouTube audience about 2 months ago for targets, and we had any target from anywhere from 77 all the way down to about 5,000. So the medium to long-term count, come and join the group. We know what it is. That has not changed. Obviously, Bitcoin's looking very, very weak right now. It has filled the futures gap, as we have seen here. But buying at the futures gap, just to say that's going to be the bottom, that's not usually how it works. So if this is the volume profile, the low volume nodes, or gaps in the market or low volume nodes, market often rejects from there. Market's job is to facilitate trade. Trade cannot be facilitated at low volume and no volume areas, obviously, because there's no buying or selling. There are no transactions taking place. It's very normal to reject. But to now say this is going to happen seems very unlikely from here. Key point, from here. So just the education regarding low volume nodes and gaps. The first move is often away. Then it gravitates, then it breaks right through it once it's got the confidence to know exactly what's going on down there. So to me, too much damage has taken place. Obviously, there was a triangle formation here. It was either going to break up or it was going to break down. It chose down. The move out of a triangle, any kind of triangle on any time frame, the move is usually pretty powerful because a triangle suggests very deep corrections. Those who are hanging on, I mean, at what point do you say that? It's very, very cautious. I was cautious going into the turn of the year, because I've just seen the S&P go up 16% back to back, which I know statistically is very rare for that to happen. 2025 is going to be a very difficult year. And obviously we've got some divergence between what the dollar is doing and the yields are doing. There's a lot you have to look at here. There's a whole lot going on. It's not as easy. Okay, buying the 2022 lows was very easy. We were buying Zion, Western Alliance, Coinbase. Who in the hell wants to buy Coinbase at 255? If we're saying Bitcoin's in a very large correction now, that's going to really struggle. I mean, this we have stayed away from completely because we were buying here. You buy low, sell high. That looks very, very bad. And, if you count it on the linear chart, it kind of looks like an expanding sort of, almost, like a leading diagonal, either A wave or wave one. But, this, I mean, don't know how we've got onto Coinbase here, but, these are the kind of proxies. I know many people trapped in MicroStrategy, and we've just refused to go near that stock. Since the turn of the year. So it was always going to be very a hit and miss with what Bitcoin was going to do, and it's chosen war, and it's chosen to go to war. I mean, that's the 50. Who can convince me right now that can't go to at least 105? And certainly that is our bullish target. It's at 205 right now. Okay, so this is not just crypto going down. This affects every other, a lot of other related assets. MicroStrategy. I called the top in that a while ago. Anyway, let's get off Coinbase. So medium to long term, we have that count nailed on, and it's been nailed on for quite a long time. Short term, I would have to say, for the sake of the YouTube audience, it does look pretty bad. We had a danger zone number one, which was here, which we were in and around, in the second danger zone was a run of this level here. Okay, you can read all of that as a double top. Now we could potentially go for a retest here, but unless something miraculous occurs and it regains this, only then would you have the confidence. And we know the one coin which has caused all of this, we've declared Ethereum uninvestable 2 years ago, and Solana uninvestable 6 months ago. We've got our meme coins right at the top, and it's hard. It's really hard to look at Solana and say this is not a very big deal. Every bear market has got some coin. They blame it on something. So money's coming out of the meme coins, has been for a very long time. It's going into Solana. People then selling Solana, going into Bitcoin, selling that, or going straight from Solana into Tether. And That doesn't look like a very nice candle at all. What is the chances of Solana regaining this? Once again, we don't care. We were buying here. We got a guy in the group who went long with 10 grand here at $5. Sold it at 200. How much is that? Keep on forgetting. What's that? 40x. Just 400,000. No one cares. When you make that much money in that much amount of time, you tell me any stock, right? How long would it take Microsoft to go up 40x? You know, people don't realize how powerful these altcoins are. The returns are astronomical returns. You can only compare this to a stock if you were looking at stocks, purchasing them, I would say way back in the 1980s. Only then would you be able to get a 2,800% return. But obviously you're waiting 40 years in a stock to get that return. In an altcoin, in a couple of years. But guess what? If you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. And right now, Solana looks like monsoon season over here. Doesn't look very good, especially if you look at the volume profile. So if you were just to look at Solana, let's say the entire fate of Bitcoin is dependent on what Solana is doing. Let's just put that thesis through. That hypothetical thesis through. Has Solana bottomed? Short term, has it bottomed? Yeah. Short term, there might be a bit of a trade. We're bouncing off the value area high. This is the Gaussian distribution, slanted, rotated 90 degrees clockwise. So it's basically like this. That's the standard deviation. That's effectively 70%. Obviously, standard Gaussian one standard deviation is 68.2, but you round it up for 70 because no one in the stock market is any good at math. So we just round it up. We've been doing that for 50 years. We should really use 68.2, but it's too difficult. So we round it up. It's very normal to bounce off that. So what am I trying to say? Over the next couple of days, maybe a week, maybe Solana, there might be a cheeky oversold bounce. Would you be going long there as a serious long-term investor? No, because as serious long-term investors, we have those in the group and they shop at Costco, they don't shop at Walmart. They buy wholesale, they don't buy retail. So this is an uninvestable asset from a serious investor. What's it likely to do? Going back to our thesis. This. And that's the problem. That's the problem. So if you were to make the argument, everything Bitcoin is doing is dependent on the Solana chain. Solana took over this entire bull market the last 2 years. It got way too powerful. The meme coins, there was way too much exuberance. It was irrational at times on Photon and everything else. That entire meme coin chain, all of that's going to go bankrupt. Solana's going to go to zero. And if it's all dependent on Solana, we're going much, much lower. So if you were to go off that thesis and say everything is dependent on Solana, well, has Solana bottomed? If it has, Bitcoin's going to go back up again. But if it hasn't, I don't think Solana's bottomed. I think Solana looks very, very bad. And it's just bouncing off an obvious level, which is the standard deviation. Look at all of these low volume nodes here that the market needs to basically fill out this volume profile. Look at where the VPOC is. Probably too early to say it's going to go to 20, but I did have a bearish count at 250 to say worst case scenario, what you're looking at there is a huge expanded flat. And that's the problem. Because I cannot say for sure that Solana was bottomed, and I don't think it has, because I've not seen the headline Solana going to zero. I mean, this might be a good buy around 20. That might actually be a good little tickle. Maybe 22.50. It might actually be a good buy. Bitcoin looks very, very bad. Bitcoin looks very, very bad, and I don't think Solana is over, and that's the problem. And that's why recently, we've had Supra, we've had various other coins, but for Bitcoin specifically, all the altcoins that we're looking at, we're obviously researching, right? Because we think that we have the long-term count. We think we have the most accurate long-term count. No one has got the count that we have, but right now we've broken down below this, and this is now acting as resistance. So something absolutely miraculous has to occur now for Bitcoin to repair this. If you want to know how low it's going to go and how bad this is going to get, come and join the group, and we have the long-term wave count. If you want to know more, come and join the group. Those are the various courses, those are the various classes. I'll wrap it up there. I think things are going to get very, very exciting in the next, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks. Things are going to get very, very exciting in this crypto market. If you want to know more, come and join the group.